Welcome once again. Today we have a special podcast, and we are basically continuing our series, which is Healing from Within. My name is Augusta Sampa, and I'm your host today. And my background is in science and theology. Before we introduce our topic, I'll let our special guest introduce herself, then we'll get right into it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shannon Smith. I am a board certified traditional naturopathic doctor. I also have a background as a nurse, over a decade of nursing. And it was my nursing career that actually led me in the opposite direction and got me into the field of spiritual sciences and kind of learning about our roots, getting back to nature and God to heal the body.
Perfect, perfect. Well, the topic, like I said, it means something special personally to me. Um, Whenever I hear the word chakra, or sometimes I personally get confused about whether it's just chakra or energy. But today, like I said, I'm gonna need all the experts in the world to try to help me understand this topic and what exactly do we mean when we talk about chakra?
So chakra literally means wheel. It's rooted in Sanskrit, but it essentially is wheel of light. They are the energy centers throughout our bodies, and today I just want to touch on the basic seven. There are so many more, but just to keep it simple today, and start with the basics, we're only going to talk about those seven. But they are positioned through the center of the body, and they tie in with our major organ systems, our endocrine system, our nervous system. So it is referring to an energy center, but it is tied in with physical elements of our entire being.
So, are you saying that when we hear the word chakra, it has a scientific aspect to it? It's actually science and not spiritual?
It's both. Yeah, two things can be true. There is a science to it, but there's also a huge spiritual component as well.
Wow. Because, I mean, this is why we decided to embark on this journey so that we can make some of these things clear to the public audience. Because me personally, like, I have a very small knowledge when it comes to this. Where did it actually originated from? Is it something that is just an ancient knowledge, or is currently still like a scientific?
So we're looking more at Eastern religions. The Western sciences kind of are not as open and accepting of these practices because in America specifically, we really like to drive home the studies. If we can't measure it, if we can't study it, it doesn't exist to us. But in Eastern philosophy, in many cultures, especially in Indian cultures, Hindu, Buddhism, they look a lot into the energy of the spirit and how it manifests our physical form. Whereas many people believe that it is the physical body that carries this energetic being or aura, and that's just simply not the case.
Wow. So it does have the background of Eastern. Is it more? Is it like India? What countries does this? Oh, it's just universal.
I wouldn't say it's universal. I
It's
think that
definitely from that area.
yes. So, especially in Hindu culture,
That's Hindu.
that's where they lean into it the most, from my understanding. I could be mistaken. There could be other cultures that embody it much more, but that's where my understanding stems from. I visited India
You have.
this year. Yeah, I went this year, and it was life changing. But over there, that's just the way that they live. Like they have this rooted understanding of their chakra systems, and everything that they do in their day to day is all about supporting the health and the energy of their prana, or the life force energy that flows through all of their physical being. But they understand that it's not just physical, that it's very much spiritual. It's about discipline, it's about nourishment, it's about love in your body and to others, because all of this impacts your prana, or your energy force that flows through those chakra points. And they just, it's a part of their being. Their entire essence is this belief system and this spiritual understanding.
So, but then definitely you definitely say India, is it Pakistan, that area, um, which are directly tied to Hinduism, not necessarily Buddhism.
Right.
This one is
That's
more
more
Hindu.
Asian culture. Yeah.
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 Okay, wow. That's good. You mentioned Sanskrit because as a biblical archaeologist, I did biblical archaeology, and you hear the word Sanskrit, that's like ancient stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by that? Like, what
That's
exactly is
that.
that? Is it like the writings?
Yeah. So it's language.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
yeah.
Sanskrit language.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's like a lot of our English language has roots in like Latin, or
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so this is
Greek
rooted
and
in
Latin.
Sanskrit.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Good. So definitely we have to separate whenever you talk about things like this, especially chakra energy. The Western world is not too familiar with this, which we can agree upon, right?
We're getting there. We're getting there. I think many more people are learning about these components of their health, because Western science has kind of ignored it or overlooked it. I don't think it was intentional. I mean, there are definitely systems at play that would much rather we be not be empowered about our health, so that we can continue to rely and funnel our monetary values into those systems. But I do think that there are a lot of amazing people that are making huge strides in changing what our medical model looks like and what our understanding in Western culture looks like. So we're getting there. But it takes stuff
It'll
like
take some
this
time
to continue to get
to
that
educate
information out
people.
to people, because it has been something that has been, kept from us for hundreds of years.
Perfect. You see, this one, like once again, like I said, I personally would like to know the details of what exactly chakra means, because I was one of those guys that when I first heard chakra, then I didn't really go detail into it, and I hate following things blindly. Like, you know, you just don't wake up and say you balance your chakra and all of a sudden all your sickness is gone. Like, what are you talking about balancing chakra? Like, so we'll get into that. I'm gonna give you time so you can explain all of that and how that works with our science, our health, how that improves our, you guys use that wellness
Yeah.
and holistic. So I'll let you touch on all of that. You say you're just gonna do the 7,
Yeah.
which basically you touch this and you give us details a little bit. You show us some of the practical ways it affects our health, especially because a lot of times that's one of the things that people struggle with. I always tell people that, you can be spiritual all you want, and if it doesn't make your life better, I feel like it becomes useless. Spirituality, being enhanced, being better, should improve your lifestyle, should improve your quality of living. So, like I said, I will try my best not to talk too much. Today, I'm a student, and we're going to give the platform to Dr. Smith. And please educate us.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through each of the standard basic 7 chakra systems, talk about where they tie in physically, some of the things that you may kind of correlate them to, basically their themes and overview. I am not cool enough to be able to say all of like the actual
Sounds great.
like the terms for them.
Like the Indian thing.
Yes, I
Yeah,
am
yeah. I look into it.
I know what they are, but I am not going to do that disservice to slaughter the pronunciation. So you're gonna get the very basic like root chakra, blah blah blah. So
Hey, that's
yeah,
good
I'm just
enough.
prefacing there are strengths and there are areas where I know that's where I don't attempt. So yeah, so we're going to start with the root chakra. So this is located literally at the base of the spine, in the actual base of where your coccyx sits. So between the legs, that is the root. So this is going to be our genitourinary system, our reproductive organs, our structure, our ability to root into grounding. So this is our safety, our stability, creation of life. All of that ties into the theme of the root chakra. So the color of this chakra is red. A lot of times we can harness the energy of a chakra system simply by embracing the color that it's associated with. And we'll kind of go into a little bit more about supporting and clearing and taking care of and maintaining your chakra health at the end when we talk about a little bit more of this of what you can do at home. So that's the root chakra. The next one is going to be the sacral chakra. So this kind of ties in with your bladder. This is again, a little bit more of the reproductive areas, your ovaries, testicles, so on and so forth. So this is that orange chakra center. This is all about sexuality, creativity, your ability to express yourself in your essence of who you are. That is a really common one that I help people with. Little fun fact, I had a client tell me she had come to me for just balancing and energy work. So we worked on that. She had some pretty significant blockages in that sacral chakra. She had a pretty traumatic birth of her child, her first child, and so I had asked her about that. We worked on that. We cleared some things out, and she told me the next time I saw her that she was finally able to experience an orgasm for the first time in years since she had her child, that she was finally able to have and harness that energy and that flow in her body where she didn't understand the correlation that was hindering her from having that experience with her husband. So that was really amazing. We do have a lot of people that struggle in that chakra area because a lot of us are not expressive with that sexual creativity. And it's kind of in Western tradition, we've kind of demonized it instead of, you know, having it as that beautiful expression between, you know, yourself or with your partner, whatever. So a lot revolves around that, especially when it comes to the reproductive organs and the health in that area. So a lot of times if you experience some kind of an ailment like UTI or bladder infections or something like that, where it's a little more reoccurring in your health history, a lot of times it can be tied to a block in that sacral chakra. So people don't always correlate the blockages with physical manifestation of uncomfortable symptoms, but they go hand in hand. You have to have understanding of both areas because it's not always just physical. Most of the time, if something is problematic, it has already started in the energy field much further back than it expressed physically. So by the time we get to this physical expression, it's already worked its way through your energy body, but most people don't take that aspect into account when we're dealing with physical health. So just some important things to note. Again, that is the orange center that's associated with that. So really leaning into the clothing colors that you're wearing, the jewelry, that you choose. If you're conscious and intentional about what colors that you're putting on your body, this is a good way to enhance the energies of that correlated chakra system. So next is your solar plexus chakra. This is right in the abdomen. This ties into your digestive system, your intuition, kind of your ability to express who you are, your self-esteem, your self-worth. Is a lot of the themes associated with the solar plexus. Again, digestive organs. We're looking at kind of that whole thoracic area. So if you're dealing with abdominal region issues, we're going to look at the solar plexus chakra, see if there's any emotional blockages in there or something that we can clear to activate healing in those organs. The next one is the heart chakra. So there is a beautiful bridge between the upper chakras and the lower chakras, and the heart acts as that bridge. So this is a really, really important center. I can't really say that any are more important or less important than the others, but this is one that I really like to lean into.
Because it's the heart.
Yes. Yes, it is the essence of love. And obviously the heart chakra ties into the heart, but it also reaches into the pulmonary area, so your lungs. And the lungs, actually, when we look at emotional ties with the physical body, the lungs harness grief in the body if it's unresolved. So that affects the heart chakra as well as the physical heart itself. So that color is green. And this, of course, has to do with all things love, your ability to love others and to accept love from others and to love ourselves. So if there's any blockages in these areas or things that you struggle with in your day to day, that can create some disruptions in the flow of that chakra. But it can also then extend into the other chakras because it's affecting that bridge and how that prana flows through. Next is the throat chakra. So this ties in actually to the thyroid, which in our Western world, we have a huge uprising of thyroid related issues. Very specifically physically, because we are so iodine deficient, but also because we live in a culture where we are constantly under scrutiny, and most people don't feel comfortable speaking their truth for fear of retaliation or backlash, or at this point in our country, it's very difficult to say anything without being picked apart. So that is a big uprising of issues related to the throat chakra. So communicating, being able to speak your truth, not holding on to resentment, being able to appropriately express your feelings to others without fear or feeling like you have to stifle that down. Blue is the associated color with the throat chakra. So if you're wanting to support that, really layer on the blue, whether it's in your jewelry, your clothes, even simply just layering a scarf, over that area, that can harness and promote the flow of energy to that area as well. Next is going to be the third eye. This is kind of like an indigo purplish color. This is all about vision, your ability to see clearly, and not just see with your eyes, but to see the big picture, to understand and intellectualize things. So this one, actually, a lot of people think that it is affiliated with the pineal gland because the center is over the pineal gland. It's actually more closely affiliated with your pituitary, which is kind of the oversight that flows through all of your hormone cascades. So this is what regulates all of the hormones through the body. And so that third eye chakra really, it really holds an importance. Again, no more or less than the rest, but each chakra has such an effect on the way that we live our day-to-day lives and the way that our physical health expresses. So that's a big one when it comes to hormonal health, and kind of some of the things that we find in our day-to-day that block those abilities. Next is the crown chakra. So this is your connection to the divine. This is your ability to feel into your faith, and understand the world consciousness. This is a lot of people represent it with a white light. And it is right on your crown. And this is the one that is actually affiliated with the pineal gland. And the calcification of the pineal gland is an ongoing issue, especially in America where we like to fluoridate our water. Fluoridation will actually calcify the pineal gland and can create a block in your ability to connect to source or to God. So that is a big one. Again, no more or less important, but just emphasizing those areas. And it is important. Yes, you can get specific blocks to individual chakras, but it will also affect the health and the flow of all the other chakras. So when we're working, we try to keep it, spread across all of them instead of just focusing on one area. You want to balance, not just open or, deal with one specific area. Even if we are looking at a more isolated issue in the physical body, we're still going to support all the other areas because your prana or your life force energy flows through all of those. So we want to make sure that it's flowing conducively to all of them and not just one isolated area.
Good. Very good. In fact, I have so much questions, so many questions. But I wanted you to flow, and then so that we can have the basic structure of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, basically, what you said, I heard more physical component than even a spiritual component, because a lot of times people hear the word chakra and automatically they think about some Hindu, some spiritual stuff, and eh, my favorite part, and bear with me, the third eye.
Yes.
The third eye. You know, when I embark on my journey, I thought the third eye will open, like you have to meditate enough or you have to do certain things, then it will open your third eye, excuse me, and you'll be able to start seeing things from different world and different dimensions. These are some of the things why I want us to see what is the truth and what is the myth and what is just nonsense.
Well, you're not wrong. That's not wrong at all.
You see some aliens with your third eye?
I mean, okay, I don't know about aliens. I personally can't attest to that, but
You've not seen an alien though, right?
not me personally. No. Well, maybe, I don't know. If we want to talk about reptilians, we won't go there.
And once again, like I'm saying that to say, I love the aspect that is connected to our health. Because at the end of the day, I feel like even having the knowledge, and even if you don't use it, then what is the point? But if you have the correct knowledge, not the myth and not the nonsense that is out there, but the correct one, and knowing how important it is, like you said, balancing it, this is connected to this, and also how in the world does, is it not the root chakra, and plus, let me use the root chakra as an example. Things like grounding. You mentioned grounding briefly.
Yes.
What is that supposed to do for your health?
Grounding?
Yeah.
So grounding helps the body discharge extra electrons that throw off our overall charge. So throughout the day, we can kind of pick up on these negatively charged energies. And what grounding does is it helps us get reset back into the Earth's frequency where we are naturally supposed to vibrate at.
And when you mentioned, you said negative energy?
Negative ions in the body. So excess electrons, that's kind of what it's helping to discharge to get us back into the charge where we're supposed to operate from.
If I'm not mistaken, I've heard that word before, grounding, where people in the morning will put their bare feet in the ground,
Mhm.
and that is the process of doing that, right?
Yeah,
And you are saying that scientifically does something good for your body.
absolutely. Yeah, it gets us back to our homeostatic frequency that we're supposed to resonate at with the Earth's vibrational field.
Because I say that to say, maybe in a lot of places in Africa, walking barefoot is not a big deal. I mean, people do it all the time. They don't associate anything spiritual to it. Here in the Western world or in America, for example, you barely see people walk barefoot.
No, no shoes, no shirt, no service.
Shoes, socks, and whatever, So I asked that question to say that, if you intentionally put this into practice, it would definitely enhance or improve certain aspects of your life.
Mhm.
Like security. How in the world does that promote security? In fact, like I said, I would like to understand these things. That way I'm not talking about it blindly. Like if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Like root chakra, grounding, and security. Whoa, how does that make you secure?
It's I mean, so when we talk about grounding in a physical sense,
Yes.
it's the electron discharge, blah blah blah, we just touched base on. But when it comes to grounding your energy, it means pulling your energy and your awareness into your physical body and being rooted in the present, in the now, instead of kind of existing up here, maybe being stuck in your head, not being able to feel into your intuition, not being able to feel into your physical body because you're so stuck in the mind. So grounding in a spiritual essence is more our awareness and our ability to be present in the now and have a calm presence instead of allowing emotions or outside chaos to throw us or shake us.
So you're saying like a simple practice such as walking barefoot or intentionally grounding. And I use that because that's what I've seen people do before.
Mhm.
That helps with your mental health in some
Absolutely.
ways.
Definitely.
Wow, people. Like I said, I'm a student here today, and I am gonna ask all the questions. There are no question as a stupid question. So if I sound a little bit stupid, please forgive me. Because like I said, it has to make sense for me to believe in it and for me to say, okay, I practice this.
Absolutely.
You mentioned irons and all of that. That sounds like science to me. That's more science than spiritual, than spirituality. And my favorite part, the third eye. I'm still stuck on the third eye because wait, before we get to the third eye, doesn't this remind you of Maslow hierarchy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a hierarchy of your basic needs in order to reach that self-actualization.
Yes.
It's the same thing with the chakras. You're going from the more physical aspects and needs to working up into the spiritual,
you get
more
love and
emotional realms.
esteem, then
Yes,
all of a sudden you get-
absolutely.
it felt like the same thing because you described the heart chakra as love.
Yes. Yep.
Like so if you have blockages based on what you said, that means it could affect your physical aspect in terms of how you love your significant other, how you love your children. It actually affects that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And basically to reverse it, if you don't have any blockage and you are aware of this and you put measures in place, it's supposed to make your love life better.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make your mental health better. Is that what we're saying?
Absolutely. Well, and we can even take it one step further when we were talking about the colors associated with the chakras.
Yeah.
Also look at your food. So by eating foods, fruits, and vegetables that are grown from the earth that are of those colors, you can target the health of those chakra centers based on the colors of the food. And this goes as far as to also incorporate your mineral content. So for example, let's look at things that are good for the solar plexus are going to be those yellow foods. They're going to be really rich in like magnesium. And a lot of times when we have these upsets in the organ systems that are correlated with the chakras, we look at the mineral content that those areas need. And many times they're found in those correlating foods that are also of that color. So when we look at the body, whether it be from a scientific standpoint or a spiritual aspect, we were created in God's image, but so was everything around us, the nature of the earth and the foods and the herbs that were put here to heal our bodies. And when we look at how all of those tie in together, we can use them scientifically, but also, you know, in a spiritual sense. I mean, you should be grounded and present when you're eating these meals. It is a spiritual thing, even though we're partaking in a physical act.
Mm. See, the details are very, very important. I like to look at the details, but we will shift to the next part where you explained how do a person, or what are the methods, or like you said, things you can do even at home
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
will help. Let's say, because in my mind, I think the last time I heard something about chakras, uh, the first thing that I was introduced into is meditating.
Mhm.
Like meditating, as you meditate, as you silence your mind, as you silence yourself, you visualize, you to look at, you know, your various sections of your body, the chakras and all of that. That is all I know about them chakras. I didn't know that fruits and the fruit colors are supposed
Yeah.
to play a part. Even if you wear a jewelry, the color of the jewelry, if it's blue or whatever. Uh, Favorite part, third eye. The third eye. You see some aliens. Trust me, I don't know. Apparently, there's more to this thing than just what people make it seems like. And I think it's because of the lack of knowledge. And like the Bible says, lack of knowledge, people perish. People don't even want to look into this chakra stuff because they associate it as paganism, some devilish stuff. And all this time is just a modified Maslow hierarchy,
Yeah.
some science to it. And um, I would love to personally know more. Honestly, I would love to personally know more because it has to make sense to me. Because you can't just tell me that the crown chakra is basically when you are divinely in tune
Mhm.
with God
Yeah.
and all of that. There's God in the subject chakra, and yet people still.
Oh yeah. Well, so I've been accused on several occasions of practicing the occult. And I laugh because the accusation comes from people that don't even understand what occult means. So
Mhm.
occult means to be hidden.
Hidden.
So it is hidden knowledge. Now, how you choose to use these tools, whether you are using them for satanic practices or you are using them in conjunction with God, that's a personal experience. Now, these practices, they're tools. Anybody can use these tools. So yes, have they been used in satanic or Luciferian related practices? I'm sure. These people are well aware of how to use these tools in their benefit. Not saying that that's a good thing. However, there are many people, healers, that work using these tools through God. Everything that I do in my practice is all through God. Everything that I do every single day is all through God. I pray constantly. And in every session, I know that I am not the one who is making these changes or helping these people. It's God. And God guides me to work through these things and use these tools to help and to, try and bring love into our world. And to me, why would I look at that as a bad thing when I'm using it through God for love and for healing and for the greater good? Now, like I said, there are people that have more evil intentions that can also utilize these tools. It's about the intention and the individual that is using them, not the tools themselves. The tools are not inherently evil. No, we won't go there.
Yeah, I like that. I'm glad you able to incorporate that into our lesson. My thing is that from a theological background, a lot of people are afraid of what they don't know. So I would rather know and say and decide for myself whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. Like the Bible said, test all the spirit. If it's from God, you will know.
Right.
You will know. And once again, the Bible also talks about the devil comes in to destroy, to kill, and to do. And if what we are talking about today has nothing to do with destroying and killing, but rather healing, then you should know where we are heading towards, because healing and healing properties is associated with God, and it's divine, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to heal. But like she said, if it's a universal, in other words, it's a universal power that people can either choose to use it for good or for evil, just like every other thing. Every other thing could be used for good.
Right.
Electricity could be good and it could be bad.
Right.
If it shocks somebody to death, that is bad. And if it's good and it's providing light and everything, that is good.
Yeah.
So like I said, we want to promote health, we want to promote healing, we want to promote spirituality in a very good sense. So like I said, you can't condemn something that you don't know.
Right.
Hosea chapter 6 verse 4, it says, lack of knowledge, my people perish. I will say that. And people get very, very, it's a human nature thing. We get very, very uncomfortable when we don't understand certain things. All right. Now let me let you take us there. How do we prevent this blockage? How do we use this knowledge to enhance our holistic well-being? Let me put it that way.
So the number one thing that I would tell people where to start is the breath. So the prana that we keep mentioning is actually tied to your breath. And most people don't even know it, but they're not breathing appropriately. So many of us operate in this very shallow breathing throughout the day that doesn't expand the lungs. It doesn't work the diaphragm muscle. So by just starting being aware of your breathing patterns will help to really amp up the fire element that drives the flow of the prana through the body. So that prana rides on the breath through the chakras. So when we're doing energy work practices and things like that, we're not actually putting energy into people.
Anybody.
It's helping to create a more appropriate flow of their energy. So every body has this divine intelligence in their life force energy. It's when these blockages appear that it can minimize that flow to those areas that we need healing in. So by kind of redirecting the flow of that energy, we can really enhance healing throughout the entire body. So breath is a really good area to start with that, by just making sure that you're taking full, deep breaths. But there's also actual breath work techniques that you can use. I tell people, honestly, a good place to start is just go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and look up guided breath work. Now, I'm not talking the intense, like holotropic breathing, where you're altering your subconscious or altering your consciousness. I'm talking about just simple, like, for example, square breathing, where, you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold for a count of 4, you exhale for a count of 4, and then you hold again for a count of 4. This is square breathing. It's one of the easiest practices that you can incorporate, whether you take 5 to 15 minutes a couple times a day to just pause, bring presence to your body, and just do that. And it will literally oxygenate the bodies and the tissues to promote healing, but it also opens up the body's energy centers to flow that pranic energy through more efficiently. So the breath is one of the quickest hacks to helping support those energy centers. But then, like we talked about, specific colors, and this is food, clothing. You can use crystals. You can use oils that maybe come from specific trees or plants that are of those colors, or that have some kind of a tie. So like one oil can be beneficial to several chakras, depending on where it comes from and kind of how the body utilizes it. If it targets an organ, it can also, help the chakra of that organ to be supported and optimized. So oils are a really, really good one to use to target multiple areas. And then we can look at, like I said, crystals, the different expressions of colors of crystals can be used to target those chakra centers. And then bodywork practices, like massage or lymphatic work, actual energy work, whether it be Reiki, light healing touch, polarity therapy. That's kind of what I do. I call it quantum energy healing, and I bring in all of the different energy healing practices that I've been taught, and I tailor it to your specific body. Again, everything done through God. I always pray before and after every session that only God be allowed to guide me in understanding what this individual needs. And I let their body express to me where they need support energetically. And then I incorporate the tools that I've been trained in to help balance that to the best of my ability, working with their energy. So that's a huge one. And then yoga is amazing. Depending on the different positions and poses that you're doing, will target different physical and energetic centers that will support the movement of that energy. And then when you combine breath work with yoga, that is one of the biggest powerhouse dynamics that you can use to support your chakra health.
Sweet, sweet. Like I said, the topic is very personal for me. I am looking at resource. I'm looking at resource.
Mhm.
Shannon, resource. Do people get resource? As in, like, people show up, they have problems.
Mhm.
Which you gave an example.
Yeah.
You gave an example earlier. And I'm thinking, with your experience, you've seen more. I'm just a baby in this content, but I believe in resource.
Mhm.
I cannot sell anything, or I cannot teach people anything if I don't know the resource. If there is no evidence, if there's no numbers backing it.
Yeah.
So with all the scientific aspect of this chakra balancing, I mean, do you, or in your practice, do you guys get a resource?
Oh, absolutely. Another example, one that really stuck out to me. I had a client of mine who's become a really good friend of mine. She came to me and she had thyroid stones, and she was about to have surgery to get them removed. We did a full naturopathic workup, and her body was testing that this was more of an energetic issue versus a physical issue. So I was actually very surprised by that. But again, I let your body tell me what it needs, so I don't impose my own beliefs or, ideology onto your healing journey. I just say what your body is telling me or what your energy is expressing. So that's the beauty of naturopathy, is it's not guesswork. It's not, tests and invasive procedures and all that. It's literally just using what your body is expressing when we know how to listen to it. So this woman, her body was saying that this was an emotional, energetic root. And so we got her on the table, we did lymphatic work, and then I targeted the throat chakra. And I literally just held space there, and a lot of visualization, some oils, blah, 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 incorporated basically whatever in that session her body was saying it needed. Literally on her drive home from that session, she texted me, or voice messaged me and said that it felt like pop rocks in her throat. Like, she said she could feel things breaking up. So about a couple weeks went by, she went back in, and her stones were completely gone.
I mean, with all these evidence, because at the end of the day, I know growing up in Africa, they are more prone to using natural remedies, herbs, and all of that. But in Africa, you talk about chakra, people will still give you that eye of like, what are you talking about?
Really?
Yeah. You talking chakra sounds more like you said, the Indian
Yeah.
and Eastern. But I am in a position where it's the thing or it's the practice yielding results. Are people getting healed? Somebody have a knee pain, chronic diabetes, meditation, knowing your body, holding still, balancing, like you said, even if you need oil and all of that to make the process, is it really yielding result? People are coming out and say, thank you, Dr. Shannon. Thank you for doing this for me. Because at the end of the day, you have to get the relief. You have to do the healing.
Yes.
And that is what it boils down to me. Because if the people say, I didn't feel anything, it's not working. I didn't feel anything. Close your eyes, and you start closing. All you could see is some cow chasing you or something I mean, or all you can see is your problem. Like, you're trying to have a calm mind. Maybe, let's say, for example, you're working with somebody that, once again, my favorite, the third eye. What are some of the problems that could be wrong with the third eye, for example?
So a lot of it is kind of like a closed-minded approach to life, an inability to see the big picture, an inability to get out of your own head and be open to other views of life. So having like a narrow-minded view of the world is something that we would see with a block to the third eye chakra.
Wow. So they can't think outside.
Right.
Wow. But they don't necessarily get to see any ghost or anything.
I wouldn't say that, no. But I did, one of the years that I was in school, we have to write research papers, and I did a research paper on the Kundalini process.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Without going too deep into that, it's basically just the harnessing of the energy that coils at the base of the spine and raising it through all of the chakra points. The author of one of the textbooks that I used to write this research paper talked about when he went through his Kundalini awakening, when the energy moved up through the third eye chakra, it almost created like a projection where he was able to see the world in almost like binary code, like the matrix of the existence of life. So not our 3D expression of reality, but actually like the energetic matrix that reality is formed on. So he
binary numbers.
So he did talk about this new vision that came through his third eye chakra. Now, like I said, personally, I have not had this experience. I also am am practicing my ability to meditate and turn my mind off. And, even though I dabble in energy work and this field is
It's
my
full of it.
passion,
Yeah.
it's a learning process. I'm still a human being. Like I'm doing the best that I can and practicing these things in my day to day. So just because I have the knowledge and I apply it in my work, I'm no master. I'm also just a human being trying to navigate all of these practices so that I can support my health and help my clients as well.
Yet you get results.
Yeah. And I get results. I'm not perfect, but it's not me doing it. I am a vessel that God uses to help people. It's not me actually doing this work. It's God.
Okay. Well, give us you were on your way to say this. I mean, give us one or two ways that you mentioned somebody can do this at home. Did you mention the meditation and crystalline? I think you were
Yeah.
giving a list or something.
Yeah.
Just those two?
Meditation practices, incorporating breath work into your day to day. It's something as simple as stretching. You can call it yoga, you don't have to. The yoga poses themselves are specific to enhancing those chakras. So if you're open to it, yoga practice is one of the best things that you can do. You start your day with it, or even before you go to bed. And then being very intentional about the foods that you put into your body. One of the things that I always recommend for parents, getting kids involved in this, more just healthy lifestyle, but even adding the spiritual aspect to it, is teaching the children, but at the grocery store. You go through and you have them help you pick out a fruit and a vegetable of every color of the rainbow, so that then you're supporting all of your chakras and you're getting a wide variety of minerals and nutrients from your food.
And it's a nice way to teach the kids
Yeah,
about
it's fun for them.
wow, wow. Wow, wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad we get to share this with our audience. And before we summarize and wrap things up, I'll simply say, you know, I get deep into this kind of knowledge personally because I don't only want to believe, but I would like to know. And as I keep quoting, lack of knowledge, people are put in a very tight spot. And I feel like if you notice, I see my born and raised as a Christian, I see a lot of people are suffering, people are going through a lot of things, and somebody is comfortable taking Norco, Vicodin 4 times a day. Somebody is comfortable taking fentanyl patches, which is very deadly. Somebody is comfortable taking medications that have a side effect that say you may even die, and you're still taking it. And yet, a simple practice such as balancing your chakra, your energy, you have a problem with that. And yet you are okay taking all those Advents into your blood system. Your body is the temple of God.
Mm-hmm.
And God lives inside you, and you put in all these chemicals into your body. And when all you could do is sit quietly, all you could do is to be aware of how to balance these chakras. Mm-hmm. And you simply will be healing yourself in so many different ways. And yet the public, it's like we're scared of this knowledge.
I think we're just hesitant to take accountability. And this is where we run into issues, is they want natural approaches. They want a holistic solution. But when they realize that holistic solution requires them to look in a mirror very, very hard, and change their patterns and their beliefs and the way that they live their lives, that's where people get caught up. That's where we have been so conditioned to just accept a quick fix in the form of a pill or a shot or a surgery. And instead of changing certain the things that got us to that point. So, you mentioned the pain control of of narcotics. Yeah, it's a quick fix, but it doesn't last. And then your body becomes
And
resistant,
you have
and
to
then
take
you
it again.
more and more and more. So, with looking at balancing the energetic body to create a solution long term, you can come to me and I can, work on you and help open those areas up. But if you leave my table and you go home and you continue to partake in the things that got you there in the first place, you're going to create the same blockages. You're going to create the same problems. So, yes, it will still be supportive. I do have people that come to me and they don't really care to change their lives, but they're like, hey, I get a really good, pain relief. I get, anxiety relief. I feel better in my body. That's fine. Even just giving them that little
Temporary
bit of
relief.
relief
Yeah.
is worth it to them, even if it means, that they're not going to do the long-term work, that they just come to see me. And that's fine. I'm here to educate and support at any step of your healing journey. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about, because it's your journey. You have to decide what is best for you. Now, if you're somebody who is hungry for information and you want to learn and you want to incorporate this stuff, that is where I get excited, because I'm like, yes, I will share everything that I know. I will get you extra information if I don't know it. Like, I will do whatever I can to empower you on your health journey to get you where you need to be based on your specific health related goals.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. I like the way you express yourself. It's nice. Um, I think we've touched on everything pretty much. What I would like you to do for our audience, and it's to basically tell us more, and if somebody needs an extra help, where they can find you. And of course, a lot of times I'll put the information under the description on YouTube as well, so that way they can click and they will be able to find this location on there. I think I put that on the last video as
Yeah.
well. um but it's priceless. It's quite unfortunate that a lot of people don't know, and they don't even try to know anything about this kind of knowledge. They automatically put it on the side. So please tell us more on how we can find you, and the best way to go about it.
Yeah, so I am the owner of Nature's Reveal. That's my personal business. I operate out of Live Well, the healing community in Lansing. We are located just outside of the Frandor Shopping Center. Not only do I practice here and offer all of my personal services, but we have a whole team of different business owners who specialize in a variety of modalities, from emotion code to spinal flow to talk therapy, and we have a walk-in clinic for a la carte services like ionic foot detoxes, sit-in sauna. We have an amazing frequency device that we allow everybody to use. And then we also have an entire downstairs area that is set up like a self-care gym. That's our member center, and you get a individualized code that gives you access to the center, and you can use all of our apparatuses downstairs as often as you would like with your membership. So some of the things down there that we have is the frequency device I mentioned, the Therapy 90, that's included in the membership downstairs. We have a halogenic salt dome. We have a vibroacoustic sound bed, a shiatsu massage chair, a lymphatic rebound machine, a solo sauna bed. So there is so much down there to support your healing journey for those that are local. And for those that are not, I also offer distance sessions, because we are all connected through the quantum field. You can do distance Reiki, distance healing sessions. I also do virtual naturopathic consultations. So even if you're not local to the area, there are so many ways that we can connect and get those services to you virtually. So that's a really cool way for me to connect with people that are not in the area.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you. Shannon, you're very busy. I know she's very busy, and so please, I appreciate her making the time for us to share this knowledge to our audience. And I'll take this opportunity. If you like this kind of content, you can like and subscribe. It won't cost you anything. Uh, the idea is not popular, so it's not about how many views or anything. It's for people that can relate to it and people that can see the value of the content. That is why we will take our precious time to make such videos and a podcast for the consumption of our audience. So please feel free, like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed yourself, like I said, it won't cost you anything to like. And once again, we'll continue to make more videos like this just to educate ourselves and also the public on the various things that is out there. And basically, we started that we're going to do once a month or once every 3 months.
Whenever we can
Yeah,
make any of the above happen.
that way, that way the content will be at least once a
Yeah.
month, then will be very nice. And like I said, it's not a popular version out there. Everybody like quick fix. We are saying, hey, let's not even get sick in general.
Right.
So thank you very much for listening to us, and we'll continue to keep the content coming. And stay blessed and stay healthy. Take care.